most points gained from losing positions is Manchester United's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Most points lost from winning positions is Jose Mourinho's Tottenham Hotspur. I'm Rohan Manglani and with me is Jeff Bhatija on Ground Reality. What's up?
Nice
Welcome
to see you again. Thank you for having me once again.
Do you
it's
remember?
a pleasure to be back.
I know. Do you get anything when I say the word again? Do you feel something? Do you have to spell it out?
Yeah, tell me.
It's happened again.
Oh, very good. It has indeed.
It has.
And it all bodes well for this weekend, doesn't it?
It
the
does.
Bottlers against the real Bottlers.
Ooh, Manchester United or Arsenal? I'm not sure what you're
I think Arsenal are the real Bottlers, but actually we're not far behind them.
Well, Jeff, we're not talking about Arsenal so much today till you get there.
Good.
And I know you will at some point.
Plenty to talk about there.
Yes, of course. But we are talking about Tottenham Hotspur versus Manchester United over the weekend.
Yeah.
But before we get into that, explain what happened at St. James's Park.
Well, I think bottling is the word of the day. We did it once again, 2-1 up, 5 minutes to go, and you just knew it was going to be a draw. Like, it's very Spursy. And even Mourinho, did you hear his comments after the game? They talk about Mourinho parking the bus.
Yeah.
He threw his team under the bus.
Absolutely.
Because he was asked about, he's a defence-minded coach. He's usually very good at closing out games. And he said, yes, I'm the same coach, but the players are different. So he really threw the team under the bus after that game.
So there's a couple of things in that. Number one is that, firstly, I don't think that Spurs they've been playing very good football. If you look at it, Spurs probably started the league playing the best football they've ever played. They've had the best start in the Premier League history this year. But I think there's a couple of things to that now. Like, the first thing is that Jose Mourinho, he's not really been able to. You cannot justify Newcastle, who's been the poorest probably in the league in current form in the league, even though they are not last on the table. But they've been really, really poor, and they had 22 shots, on target, and they had 17 shots from inside the box. So what's up? Is Jose Mourinho changed, first of all?
Well, I think he gets criticised because we started the season actually quite defensive with quite a few 1-0s, and he was getting criticised. Now we're more open and we're conceding more goals. He's still getting criticised. But I think the main problem is he doesn't know his best defence. So you've got Harry Kane, Son, Bale, Moura, that forward line picks itself. Yeah. And they can score goals for fun. The problem is we just keep conceding them at the back. And it was the same problem against Newcastle.
Yeah, but you say that they can score goals for fun, and I believe that they can score goals for fun. That's their quality. But the point is that, why don't they outscore? There was a point when, Pep came in, he didn't have the best defense, but he made sure that he was scoring 3 or 4 or 5 goals every game. Yeah, because he knew he's going to concede.
I don't think it's possible to do that all the time. We were 2-1 up. Kane hit the post just before they scored. It could have been 3-1, and we had a couple of other chances. But I think with Spurs, they always give the opposition a chance, and the opposition never feel they're out of the game. If I take you back a few months to being 3-0 up at home against West Ham, and we drew that game 3-3, they came back from 3-0 down with 25 minutes to go. So I think we always let the opposition in. And I think part of that is Mourinho doesn't know his best defence. So on Sunday, we changed the defensive unit again, and we've never had consistent back four. And that's been the real problem. And very unlike Mourinho in his heyday, if you think back to his Chelsea heyday, he had the same back four the whole time. They're very consistent. And that hasn't been the case with Spurs. And if you're constantly changing the personnel, you're going to have issues there.
Yeah, I can understand. When you're talking about a big game, but obviously you're going into a big game now, and that's a big question mark for him. But when it comes to what happened at Newcastle or what happened in the Europa League quarterfinals, that was shambolic.
An absolute embarrassment is the word. Yeah.
So your season literally hangs by a thread now. It's like
well, the last time I was here, I said we've still got the Carling Cup. Fortunately, we've still got that because it's the end of April that game, so we can still cling on to that as hope. And we're not out of the top four race. One of the biggest disappointments about Sunday was that had we won that game, we would be in the top four.
Well, much more comfortable at this point of time.
But now I think with West Ham winning the other day, we're sixth, so we would have been in that. We're still in that race, and we're still very much in that race. But every time other teams slip up, so Chelsea lost last weekend, we don't take advantage of that, and that's the real disappointment.
Yeah, Mauricio Pochettino made a statement, I think, just after the game on Sunday, which he said that we worked so hard for the last 4.5 years when he was there at the club, but when he looks at the team now, he feels that there's something wrong with the philosophy. Like the owners have done extremely well in getting the club to where it has, reached so far. But the mentality is not winning. The mentality is, like winning the game. This is what he said, is one of the things. It's not the main priority of Tottenham Hotspur. Now, I'm an Arsenal fan, and it's lovely that I'm saying these things. But Jeff, but honestly, how do you justify that?
Well, I think that's been.
I mean, I know you got the great stadium without a name. And I know
he's still going on.
I've been going on.
You're really happy about that?
I mean, I've been going on about it all season.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a great stadium. You have Harry Kane, who's the best striker in Europe probably at the moment.
Yeah.
You got in Gareth Bale, thinking it's like a second coming. I mean, it was.
We've got the best training ground in Europe. Don't forget that also.
No, we've got the best training ground.
No. Have you ever been to London Colney?
Yes. I've been to London Colney. I've seen the kids play over there, and it's absolutely fantastic.
First, go to Spurs training ground. Then
I would never even. I mean,
first
you get out of North London. That's the point.
Oh, we're not going back to this. We've done all this. I'm not repeating this.
Okay, fair enough.
So, I mean, I think it's a mentality thing, and it's always been around Spurs. And Poch really tried to change that mentality when he was there, about not getting over the line, not getting over the last hurdle. And actually, when Poch was there, we didn't do it either. We got to semi-finals, we got to a cup final, we lost to Chelsea in the League Cup final when he was manager. We got to the Champions League final. We never made it over the line. So it's interesting that we brought Mourinho, who's a serial winner, and even he's struggling to change that currently. So. A lot rides on that League Cup final.
But do you actually think that even if you, is that the sentiment, that if you win the League Cup final, you're happy with Jose Mourinho?
No, but I think the sentiment is we've changed that mentality to finally be able to get over the line and get something. I mean, the last time...
But get what?
It's still a cup. The last time we won something was 2008.
Man. I know that, we've not won the title. Arsenal hasn't won the title since a very long time. Manchester United hasn't won the title since a very long time. But the Carabao Cup is not a cup. I mean, it is something, it's a feel-good factor. FA Cup is still something relevant, because you get to Europe through that. There are various things in the FA Cup which, which is a little more prestigious.
For sure.
It's a little more tougher to get that. But the Carabao Cup, and I've heard a couple of, of my other friends who are Spurs fans saying that it's all on the League Cup final. I mean, the League Cup final actually doesn't define anything.
Well, I'd still take that over not winning anything.
Yeah, I would take a top 4 over the League Cup final.
Yeah, I would possibly agree with you there. But if we can get a cup and get the top 4, which is still possible, then that's a good season for us. And also, I think the Carling Cup is often or Carabao Cup, or whatever its current form is. I refer to it as the League Cup. Yeah. It's a stepping stone to something bigger. If you think that was Mourinho's first trophy, I think that was Pep's first trophy in England. So it can be a stepping stone to bigger things.
Trust me, as an Arsenal fan, we've won a lot of FA Cups.
There
is no stepping stone.
You've stepped backwards.
You step backwards. The only stepping stone currently is to get a good manager who understands the team and who can, and obviously, unfortunately, football these days is very dependent on either you have a fantastic youth coaching system, which you develop the stars, or then you go out and you outright buy.
So interestingly, while we're on the subject, you were asking me about last weekend. What happened to your boys last week?
I think it was ranked bad. I think that it's made me think about whether Arteta should actually have the job or no. And let me put it very straight. If Arteta doesn't get anything out of the Europa League, which means winning the Europa League at this point of time, he must go. And I don't mind saying that, because that's the fact. I mean, I was explaining to Sidhu last weekend, who had come here, and he was talking about, we were talking about the pre-game, and he was asking me about, what's your take on Arsenal and stuff like that. It's very simple. If you cannot make it to the top 4, then you need to go. And Arteta's been at the club now for over a year and a half. We didn't have football for 4-5 months, so that's probably 2 years, knowing the players, knowing the staff. So I feel that if you keep him longer than this, what are you going to get? What are you going to get? I mean, if you tell me to trust the process at this point of time, I'm not going to trust the process. There's no chance I can trust the process, because it doesn't make any sense to do the same things which Arsenal Football Club has been doing over the last 5 years, 8 years, which are all wrong.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's funny. A few weeks ago when I was here,
yeah.
I would love to have heard what you wanted to say after the game, after you stuffed us at the Emirates.
Yeah.
I'm sure Arteta was the main man then, and everyone's praising him for his decision for dropping Aubameyang and showing that strength of management character. Everyone was singing his name from the rooftops, Arteta, after that game.
No, absolutely. And in fact, he didn't play Aubameyang, and I mean, all the Arsenal fans were like, I mean, if it is something that if it's something extremely bad, that's the only reason why you can't play Aubameyang, not because he's come late for training. In a game like that. But he did it. But I think what we've learned over the period of time is that not to get too excited with these results.
I'd say us losing the North London derby was definitely an irregular result. But
no, Jeff.
That was definitely an irregularity.
That's not even close.
But actually, it's funny. I noticed this thing with Arteta, because he has a couple of good games and then he's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, he won the FA Cup, so that gave him a bit of credit with the Arsenal fans. But actually, overall, Arsenal's trajectory has not improved since Emery left. I think they've stayed the same or got worse even.
I completely agree. I mean, we have this stat and it'll come up on your screen at the moment. In fact, you can have a look at this. I mean, it just looks, and you see Wenger, you see Emery, and you see Arteta. Now, over there, after 50 games played, Arteta has a win percentage of 42%, which is worse than Wenger's by far, and which is worse than Emery's also by far, if you just look at the stat. So if you go based on this stat, then Arteta's actually, his time is due now. Like,
so what are you saying? You want Wenger back?
No, I don't want.
He's available. He hasn't got another job.
I don't want Wenger back at all. But I mean, if we don't win the Europa, and I don't care where we finish, because I don't think that we're finishing anywhere close to the top 4 or the top 6, unfortunately, this season. But if we don't win the Europa, Arteta has to go. I mean, there's no doubt about it. All right, Jeff. Now, talking about the weekend, it's a massive game for Tottenham. You all stand 6th. One of the only things, as we've discussed, is coming in the top 4. I don't think that anything other than that is good enough for Mourinho or for this Tottenham team, which has spent some money, which has done some stuff. United, on the other hand, are second. And what do you make about the game, first of all?
Well, I think it's a big game for Tottenham. I think it's an equally big game for United, because although they're in second place, they're still catchable from some of the other teams. It's not done and dusted yet. And I think they've still got a lot to prove. So I think it's going to be a good clash. Tottenham Man United games are always entertaining. If I take you back a few months to the game at Old Trafford, which
you enjoyed that.
Yeah, we won't forget that one for a while.
We all enjoyed that.
Yeah. So if we can get a repeat of that this weekend, I'll be very happy. I don't think it's going to happen, but we can hope for the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking very tough. United haven't lost on the road this season till now, which is an amazing stat. I mean, Ole is damn good. Finally, I think he's at the club now since over 3 seasons. He's got it right. He's getting them all playing together. They've been consistent second now since some time in the league. But do you feel that they've overachieved this season?
Yeah, I think it's a mix of both, if I'm honest with you. I think they have done pretty well, but also the rest have been so inconsistent.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a brilliant United team by any means. I mean, they've got a few star performers, but I don't think it's a brilliant team. But I think the rest haven't been that consistent.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Chelsea, if you look at Spurs, if you look at Liverpool, very inconsistent. I think if any team has overperformed in that top 4, top 5, I think it's Leicester. They're having a great season.
Yeah,
still.
And West Ham.
Yeah, West Ham. Yeah,
I never counted them.
West Ham.
I mean, I was discussing this a few weeks back, and I just thought that they'll drop now.
Yeah.
But their performances, and it's Jesse Lingard who's doing
ex-Man United. Yeah. Ex-Man United.
They want to actually sell him, and they want to. I'm on this chat of this entire United fans, and trust me, it's not the happiest place to be. But they've been saying that they want to sell Jesse Lingard to West Ham and get Declan Rice for an additional 25 million. Do you think that'll happen?
I think West Ham need both of those players in order to perform.
No, they have Souček, who's very good also.
Yeah, there's talk he might leave as well. But I think at the moment they've got a really good squad, West Ham, actually. But so yeah, if anyone's overachieved, it's probably West Ham and the likes of Leicester.
Yeah.
And Man United have done okay. As I say, I think they've got some good players. But I don't think they're a particularly special team, which is why I think we've got a good chance this week.
No, and again, you guys will see it on your screen, but if you just see the stat now, Jeff, again, this is the value of the squad. Now, if you see the United squad value, that's £718 million. I mean, isn't that team supposed to be finishing there?
Definitely.
Overachieving means like at least competing for the title. It doesn't mean that, okay, if you're consistent second means you've overachieved. I mean,
Yeah.
they are, obviously, we will know more on the Europa League soon, and we will know more about, how they finished the season. But I don't think that they've overachieved.
No, I mean, they're 14 points behind the leaders,
Yeah.
and only 4 in front of Leicester,
Yeah.
whose team by comparison is worth a lot less. So
Yeah.
I don't think they've overachieved. I think they're doing okay, like I say. I don't think they're anything special, which is why I think the game this weekend could be interesting. It could go either way.
Which players are you counting on this weekend for Spurs?
Well, it's the usual suspects, isn't it? Harry Kane, Son.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get something out of Bale. We'll get a tune out of Bale. But I'm more worried about our defence, like what he's going to do defensively, because that's been a huge concern.
Do you think he'll play 3 at the back against this United?
No, I think he'll go with 4 at the back, and I don't know which 4 he'll pick. It could be any 4 from 8. So it's a real conundrum, and. Like I said, I don't think Mourinho knows his best defence, and that's a problem because he keeps chopping and changing. And he's got a very inexperienced back 4. He didn't play Alderweireld last weekend.
Yeah. That's surprising because I would think that he's your most experienced defender.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't even in the squad. He said there was something to do with a late COVID test, which is why he didn't travel. Same with Aurier. But they're experienced players. So I hope they'll be back this weekend, which will give us some stability at the back. And then it's just a case of if we can keep United out and get some goals at the other end, a bit of Kane magic that we always rely on.
No, that's going to happen. See, that's not the question. I think the Kane magic is irrespective. The guy's got 19 goals this season. The goal he scored against Newcastle was another class act. And he is the best striker in the world, I would think, at the moment.
Well, I think Lewandowski might have a point to argue about that. Well, he's up there. He's up there.
Well, I don't know. It's surprising you're saying that, but I would think
that I like to give some balance. I don't like to be totally biased, you see. So I like to give.
That's what I'm trying to do here. So that's why I'm going to tell you that Man United are looking very strong, and Ole's, he's gotten the best out of Lindelof. He's gotten the best out of Maguire. If you see Harry Maguire's stats this season, it's absolutely phenomenal.
But I think we can still get something.
Well, last time you said that, you know what happened.
Yeah, that's why I'm not being as bullish. If you ask me now, I'd take a point.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You're home.
It doesn't make any difference nowadays with the stadiums, and United have a very good away record, as you say. Yes. And our ground hasn't exactly been a fortress. Yes. So the ground with no name, as you like to often refer to it. So I think if you given the state of how we're playing at the moment, a point would be a good result for us. That's the truth of the matter. This is a huge game for us. The players, we hope, will be up for it. The interesting thing, just going back to the Arsenal game, is we didn't really look up for it until the last 20 minutes, until we got man sent off. And since that day, and then since we lost, we went crashed out of the Europa League. Yeah. Spurs have improved. We beat Villa, and for the most part against Newcastle, we were up for it. The attitude was right. So I'm hoping at the weekend that we come out with the right attitude, because against Arsenal and when we lost in the Europa League, the attitude was very bad. And Mourinho seemed to have addressed that in the last couple of games. So I just hope that continues. And I think if we have the right attitude, we've got a good chance of getting something.
And what about, so you said you're happy with the points, so your prediction must be a draw. And
I'd take a draw. Yeah.
So 1-1, 2-2?
1-1.
1-1.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll do it?
No. I think we'll lose. Okay. I think we'll lose. If I'm honest with you, I think we'll lose 2-1. And I think Fernandes will get a penalty in the last 10 minutes. Oh, God. That's what's going to happen. Mark my words.
Anyway, on that note, good luck to you this weekend.
Thank you.
And good luck to Arsenal, who's playing away at Sheffield United. But you never know with Arsenal also.
Well, I think we know. We pretty much know with Arsenal. You'll be lucky to get something at Sheffield United.
Can we just sing that again once in chorus? It's happened again. No.
No.
We'll keep it for another time.
Keep it for another time.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Bye.